22.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Welcome in to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Welcome to the Get Your Happy On Hour. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons. This is 93.7 The Ticket. Man, I got to give a big shout out to Matt Warner out there in Waverly, Nebraska. Empire Fencing, man, y'all keep doing big things, and just know I appreciate all the love and support you continue to give me. You know, I got to be honest with you. Tonight's show, even though this is the Get Your Happy On Hour, we're going to go deep tonight. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to still have some fun, but we're going to talk about some serious stuff tonight. And I got my little brother back. I know I just had him on a few weeks ago, but this is part 2. We didn't get a chance to get into the deep. So we're going to get into the deep. He says he's okay with it. Everybody knows, well documented, I stay up under the bus, so it doesn't bother me one bit, especially if it'll help someone else. My little brother is back. Jason Peter, welcome back.
Thank you, Ricky. It's good to be here.
Well, hey, listen, Jason,
again.
I'm going to say it like this, man. First of all, thank you for coming back so quick. But I had a lot of phone calls after our show last time, and people were really, really curious about, like, man, he was just getting to talk about this, and then the show was over. And my show is, it's only an hour, so I guess it goes quick. And I'm just going to do a quick little recap. For those of you that may not know who my little brother is, I mean, this guy's a 3-time national champion and an NFL player. We have a commonality through something other than football, and it's basically called addiction. And a lot of people have the stigma when it comes to addiction, because it's really kind of embarrassing to admit that you struggle with anything, especially drug addiction. And he agreed with me on, we're going to talk about that tonight. And we're going to share some personal stories. We're going to share some funny stories and some serious stories. But the goal tonight is for anyone out there that's struggling. We want you to know that, hey, look, get past the embarrassment part. This is real. It can be life ending. So we want to try to, help someone see that there is still hope. And you got 2 great examples tonight talking to you, and we're basically going to throw ourselves under the bus. So, Jason, I'm going to start with when you got to the NFL, you had already had a few things going on. Is that
as
true?
Far as like addiction?
No, as far as your
injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing I really had that was significant here when I was at Nebraska was with a couple games left in my senior year, 97, I got some back spasms that just kind of wouldn't go away for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And really needed to get to that little bowl break where we had some time off to just let everything settle down. But, for the most part, it was just like a banged up knee here, a shoulder there, nothing serious, but enough where, the doctor would give you a couple Vicodin when you went home, said, hey, it'll probably start aching. Maybe it starts swelling a little bit. If you're having a hard time sleeping, you could take a couple of these if pain's bad. And so that was it for the most part. But I knew when I took those Vicodin for the first time, like there was just something that went off in my head that was like, yeah, okay, you like the way that these make you feel, But nothing really, like we were so tunneled, focused. I mean, it was just everything was about winning championships, and nothing was going to derail that. And obviously we were winning, so that was that made it easy to kind of keep the focus there. But things changed when I went down to Carolina. So I went to the combine, and they twist and bent me every which way and tried to get my back to kind of go into spasm and stuff, and no big deal. Got through it all. But at some point after the combine, probably even after I was drafted by Carolina, my shoulders just started to go to garbage, right? Like just bad. So I get down there, and the first thing is when you're still here at Nebraska and you have former guys that come back that are already in the league, they'll tell you, how physical it is, and kind of a joke would be like, make sure you got enough pain pills, your rookie year, because you're going to need them to get through, the long season. Part of me probably took that literally, because I remember when I went down there for the first time, I made sure that I had something, and there was a very a different sort of relationship between players and training staff back then.
Right.
There was kind of the whole you don't make the club in the tub sort of thing. You never wanted to be a guy that was always in the training room, whether it was just putting ice on your knees or your shoulders, or because you didn't want the reputation of being a guy that's always dinged up, or a guy that has injury things. So you didn't. There wasn't this great communication between player and training staff. But yeah, I get down there, my shoulders are bad, so I end up having to wear these harnesses on my shoulders to keep them from coming out of the socket, getting kind of bent back. And then with a few games left in my rookie year, and we were horrible too, which made it easier to kind of check out.
Right.
We went 0-8, I think, to start the season, my rookie year off, and ultimately finished at 4-12, and the staff was fired. But anyway, start to have all these issues, and then a couple of shoulder issues, and then a few games left, kind of make a play, and something happens with my neck where I just kind of have this and I had some stingers through college or whatever, but no big deal. You just kind of get it rubbed out. Maybe you have to put a cowboy collar on for a week or something like that.
Right.
But never anything serious. And so I get this done, or I have this happen to me with my neck. And so I've got this whole kind of triangle that's just, from my neck to my shoulders, that's just inflamed nonstop. So I end up missing, I guess, the last couple of games, but I go to see the doctors for my shoulders and for my neck. The trainers and team doctors decided that we would not deal with the neck that season, that we needed to fix my shoulders. So go out to LA, have doctor operate, and the first shoulder, big scar cut, from the top of the shoulder down. And part of the recovery for that is pain pills. And then a few months later, I got to go back in and get the other shoulder done. So there's, 4 months there where pain pills are almost a daily sort of, part of the recovery.
Yes.
But for the most part, every year that I was down there, and every off season, I was having at least 2 major surgeries kind of done. But every time we were kind of ready to start rehab, like real rehabbing and lifting and doing stuff, I'd clean myself up. But then the cycle would start again when we got back into the season, and, I'd get hurt again. And then it was just, it became something with the pills where it started as something where, okay, you leave practice, you're dinged up, something's sore, you take a couple at night. Then it progressed to, waking up in the morning and you're taking 2 more to kind of help yourself get out of bed. And then it progresses to, okay, I'm going to take 1 or 2 before practice. And then before you know it, it's like every 4 to 6 hours you're taking them. And that wasn't really necessarily the plan. But it's just a slippery slope. And so that continued for 4 to 5 years while I was down there in Carolina. And then ultimately I'm having a conversation in a room in the training room with, George Seifert and Marty Herney, who's the general manager, position coach, head doctor, head trainer. And they're telling me, we can't clear you to play football anymore. Like, you're going to end up, wheeling yourself off of the field, because they couldn't figure out. I had multiple surgeries on my neck at that point after 4 years. And we just couldn't, there were so many problematic areas in my neck that I remember when we went in to do the fusion, they were like, well, 3 and 4 are messed up. 5 and 6 are messed up. We're not 100% sure what area is causing the pain that you're having. So it was kind of this educated guess, and not to say that they guessed wrong, that the other way would have for sure fixed it. But yeah, ultimately I'm having this conversation, and in your head, when you leave Nebraska, when you leave college, I'm thinking, okay, I'll play 10, 12 years. I'm gonna make Pro Bowls. I'm gonna be all pro. I'm gonna hopefully make the Hall of Fame or something. You know what I mean? Like, you have that mentality, and now all of a sudden, boom, the rug's pulled out from underneath you, and now it's like, oh, okay, what are you gonna do now? Yeah. And that was an overwhelming question that I know, like, my father used to ask me all the time. Other people just in conversation, and I just didn't know, because I had my life planned kind of, that it was going to be football. And then, I'd made enough money that I'd never have to worry about working or having to have a job again. So, And then once it was done, once football was done, that's when the bottom fell out.
I was just sitting here listening to you, and I was thinking to myself, it's amazing. Like, really and truly, and I'm not making excuses, but the fact that you was having all these injuries, I can see how the medication part, could lead to more. And see, and I was trying to look at it from my perspective. I left Nebraska the same way with all these high expectations,
right? And
man, I got drafted to a team that was worse than yours, and we were so bad they sold us the second year. So. But my stuff was self-inflicted, and that's the one thing that I have to try to own, man. Yeah. I simply tried something that I thought, I don't even know how to say this, so I'll just be honest. I won't call his name because I don't do that. I throw myself under the bus. But I had a quarterback that this was the whole training camp. He wasn't talking to nobody. Yeah. He never talked. Right. The only time he talked is when he's calling the play in the huddle, calling the snap count at the line of scrimmage, and when he's cussing you out for dropping his pass. Right. Well, I never dropped his pass because I ain't like football, but I like money. Yeah. So on the football, when he threw it, and he did throw really hard, I will give him that. And a lot of people were dropping his passes, but I didn't see a football. I saw $10,000. Yeah. So I'm grabbing it. And after the first game, we got blasted the first game, and this guy out walking off the field, I'm thinking it's Sunday night. We get paid on Tuesdays. So I'm counting money in my head. I'm not thinking about nothing. Yeah. The wins and losses didn't matter at that point. But I heard this weird voice say, your name, your name, Ricky. I'm like, I don't know nobody in D.C., so I kept walking. He goes, hey, man, your name Ricky, right? I turn around, it's my quarterback. I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, man, I ain't got no friends. I'm like, dude, there's a pet store, not far from RFK. You go buy you a puppy or something, because I'm not your friend. I don't like you neither. Right. And then he said the magic words. I just need somebody to get high with. Yeah. Well, now you're talking my language. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, dude, you might not be so bad after all. I invited the guy to my house. Now, I was thinking about smoking weed, dude. Right. I'm not going to lie. That's all I was thinking. And this dude came over with a bag with everything. I mean, it looked like when he got done cleaning out that bag, it looked like he had my kitchen table looking like a chemistry lab. Right. So when I went, and I'm thinking to myself, what is all of this? Yeah. And I had no idea. But it was free-base cocaine. Yeah. And I tried it the first time. I said, you know what, man, I'm going to do it with you tonight.
Right.
But after that, you ain't got to come back over here.
Right.
Well, after about the 5th hit, for people that are addicts, they'll recognize what I'm saying here. I got a hit. About the 5th hit, my eyes got really big, and I could hear a rat piss on cotton 2 blocks away.
Right.
And I said, wow, this is different. And he's like, it's good, huh? I'm like, yeah. So I took a seat.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, for 18 games, I started 18 games, and all of them I was under the influence. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's several different ways to get caught up.
Yeah.
Now, after you got done playing, though, what made you continue?
Well, and I need to, I guess, back it up a little bit. Like, even when I was in Carolina, you know, I was not a choir boy. You know, we like to have fun, you know, just like you ultimately find, you know, a handful of guys on the team that have similar interests and similar mindsets, and so at some point from when I left Nebraska to you know, my first year or two down there in Carolina, I had tried cocaine, and like the same thing with the pills, I knew when I took that first bump or line or whatever, I knew that, okay, now I'm like, I feel like God. You know what I mean? Like, and that was dangerous, especially for me, because naturally I'm an introvert. Like, you know, that was kind of the funny thing. Like when I was doing the radio, when I first moved back here to Nebraska, and my whole family was like, oh, the son that doesn't like to talk is now on the radio, you know? And, but so that was always, that was just kind of who I was. And when I was introduced to cocaine, I was able to overcome all of that stuff. But so there were some times, you know, and I got popped by the NFL one time. You know, I'd been in the program, they call it, you know, for drugs and alcohol. And so I was getting drug tested, you know, 8 times a month or something like that. I don't know, 4 or 8. And I was just about out. I had like another month left, and I had gotten hurt again, another, you know, injury. And I think I had maybe even got put on IR at that point, or, you know, I knew I was going to be on the shelf for so many weeks, and went out and, you know, hanging with the wrong crowd. And someone had, you know, a cigar that was laced, you know, with some cocaine. And I was also on like a prednisone pack or something for the swelling in my neck. And I actually, you know, because they say it takes like 72 hours to get cocaine out of your system.
Correct.
And I had more time. It was more than 72 hours that I had till the next test. And I tested positive. And so that kept me in the program for another 2 years. I had a huge fine that I had to pay. But yeah, it turned out, I talked to some doctors afterwards, and they said the cocaine probably attached itself to the prednisone, and it extended its kind of, you know, shelf life or whatever. So yeah. But ultimately still wasn't enough to kind of make me stop. I thought I had things in control, and maybe even when I was playing, I did. But when I was done playing and I lost that structure, I lost the reason to wake up in the morning and go down to the stadium. Didn't have anybody to answer to. I was young. I had a ton of money, you know, and I wanted to have fun, and I wanted to forget kind of the disappointment of how my NFL career went. So, I moved back up to New York, and then it was just on. It was just, you know, just night after night going out and, you know, partying, and did that for, you know, a few years. And for the most part, when I went into rehab for the first time, and that was, you know, getting there the first time was not easy. Like you had talked about, start off, there's a lot of embarrassment.
Correct.
And, I felt like such a disappointment, such a kind of a loser. And it wasn't even necessarily because of the drugs. It was because football was my life,
Right,
and
right,
then
right.
it was gone. And I just didn't have any answers as to what to do. When you're playing, and there's a ton of guys that are, like business guys in town that, still like to have fun, and they're going out with you and stuff. And, oh, don't worry about, hey, when you're done playing, you're going to come work for me. You're going to make more money than what the Panthers were paying you.
Yeah,
All this,
yeah.
all this, when the day comes that you're done, none of them are around.
Yeah,
There's nobody there
yeah.
offering you a job.
Yeah.
You're standing there and you're calling people, and nobody's picking up the phone anymore. So yeah, but yeah, it had just gotten to the point where I was like, forget rehab. Like, I just gonna put a bullet in my mouth, and that was it. And so, I tried to kind of off myself with a lot of Vicodin, a lot of sleeping pills, bottle of vodka. Fortunately, I woke up the next morning, and my parents were away. I was back at the house, back at my parents' house. They were taking care of my dogs that I couldn't take care of anymore. So I was back there, and when I woke up that next morning, my aunt had come to see me, and she had some minor stuff as well, throughout her life. And then she just, convinced me that my life was still worth something.
Yeah.
And that I need to go get help. So the next day I was in a rehab center out in Arizona, and yeah, so the process then started there. And it was, in and out. Just, there was, I'd meet somebody in like the first rehab. There was a Hollywood producer that was in there, and when you kind of graduate from, like, the program or whatever, they have this ceremony at night, and at this place, it was outside in Arizona in this big fire pit, and every addict, that's graduating, they ask another addict to kind of like present them, and
Right.
so somehow or another, people thought I did a great job at it, right? Like they thought I was funny. They thought, it could be heartfelt as well. And so people were asking me to do this for them all the time. So, this Hollywood producer, was sitting there and seeing, and watching me do it. And at some point he's like, hey, you need to come out to Hollywood. He's like, I'm going to make you a star,
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. So, right. So probably not the best environment for me to go to. Right. But yeah, I mean, there was a period where I left one rehab and was driving out to California, and there's a little town. I think I was, where was I? I'm not sure if it was leaving Arizona, or my geography is not great. I could have been at another rehab in Utah, but I left, and there was a little city I had to drive through to get to LA, and it was called Vegas. and a couple days later, I basically woke up on the side of the road in my car. I was sleeping in my car because I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore after, being in Vegas for 48 hours or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I was just like, oh man, this is a mess. And I ultimately get out there, and all basically the producer wants to do is just party.
Oh.
So we didn't leave the house for like the first couple of weeks. And then that's ultimately where I learned, not from him, but from one of his neighbors up in Bel Air. I learned how to smoke crack.
Wow. Hold it right there. Yeah. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. Don't y'all go anywhere. This is 93.7 The Ticket.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rollouts have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rollouts will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rollouts make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rolloffs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
Gannett Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we back. Man, that first segment went way too fast. But I'll tell you one thing, you know, you made a comment, Jason, right there at the end about that's when you started doing crack. Crack did me really bad, man. And I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis of what crack did in my life. In my third year in the league, I'm with the Atlanta Falcons, and before I could play my first game, cocaine convinced me that football was getting in the way of my using. Yeah. So I quit the NFL to be a full-time drug addict. I went from the NFL to prison 4 times, went to 10 treatment centers, graduated 9 of them. I will say this, man. I know when you say you learned how to smoke crack, boy, I already know where that road took you. So I get that. You know, but what I think I'm the most impressed with is the fact that you was given another opportunity. And I love what you were saying during the break too, man. You know, we share another commonality too. We don't judge people.
Right.
You know, if somebody wants to do something, have at it.
Yep.
You know, I just know what I can and can't do, and that's all. And I can't tell you if my way will work for anyone else.
Yep.
You know, everybody has to find their own way. And I feel like if AA is your thing, get your AA on. If it's, you know, if you got other ways, some people just believe in a higher power, which I choose to call God. If that's your way, so be it.
Yeah. But,
you know, the thing I think I'm the most impressed with is not only did you bounce back, you wrote a book.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
What made you write a book?
So when I was in this, now I'm in a rehab center in California, and it was ultimately the one that I finally came out and was able to maintain, you know, my sobriety. But just with being in there, and you know, there's always story time. You know, that was always the hard thing for me about certain ways that people get clean. But you know, a part of it is telling your experiences and telling and all that. So you go through this and you know, every day you're kind of you're just talking to people, and everybody started to say, oh my gosh, like with those stories, you need to write a book.
Okay.
And then so my wife's father was lived in LA, and one of his buddies was a famous like kind of cop. He'd write cop stories. He was and like former like fire stories. His name was Joseph Wamba, and he had a lot of success in writing books after his. I think he was either a cop or a firefighter, one or the other. But so he actually then hooked me up with. I think first we went literary. It was the literary agent.
Right.
And got to talk to him, and he decided that it was something that he wanted to make a run at. So then the process was, you know, finding kind of a ghostwriter.
Right.
So it was, do we find somebody that understands football, but not the drug side of things? Or do we find a writer that maybe has had a past with addiction himself, but we can teach him about the obsession of Nebraska football and the NFL and stuff like that.
Right.
And I thought it would be easier to teach somebody about the football side of things. So we found a guy who's from England named Tony O'Neill, who had his own issues. And I think it was a draw because the obsession part of Nebraska football and the NFL is equivalent to the way that they treat soccer over there. And they
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about, you know,
Yeah.
like the hooligans and stuff over in England. And he's an English guy. Yeah, it was very easy to talk to him and ultimately, you know, him understand the football side of things. But yeah, so we basically wrote up a couple chapters or something, and then you take it to different publishing companies and you try to sell it. And fortunately, a really good Macmillan books, which St. Martin's publishing company is underneath Macmillan, and they wanted it. So we ended up working a deal, and that was it. So for the next, it was a lengthy, I mean, it was a few years doing that. He would just send me questions nonstop, and you know, I'd be on the computer, you know, one finger typing.
Yeah.
You know, just
doing
pages.
You're doing the Ricky C. Simmons typing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you.
Pages and pages and pages, and then I'd send them to him, and he'd send them back all shaped and, you know, and everything. And
they didn't look like that when you said
that's
it to
right,
her.
right. But yeah, it was, and everybody was like, you know, back at the rehab when we first kind of this idea came about, they were like, you know, you can really help people with this, and whether it's a 17-year-old kid, you know, who's playing high school football, or maybe it's a house mom, you know, there's just it's endless when it comes to the type of people or the different people that addiction can impact.
Is your book still available?
Oh yeah. So it's funny, the publishing company always they'll call me every once in a while and they'll be like, this Hero of the Underground, the book that just won't stop selling.
Oh, cool.
And it's not like, you know, I mean, it ended up being a New York Times bestseller, which, you know, was kind of validation and doing it. Not the reason I did it, but that it, you know, people liked the book and people were buying it. Yeah, the amount of people that contacted me and, you know, my wife and the publishing company and the agent, they all were like, you know, you got to set up Facebook accounts and do all this stuff. And the amount of people that were, you know, sending me messages with how this book has helped them. That was the real payment and everything.
Right.
You know?
Well, you know, I'll say this to you. First of all, I'm just proud of you.
Thank you.
A lot of times when we go down this path, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of times you don't make it out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying we're cured by no stretch. Please don't get that from it. But day by day, we have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think that anybody out there that's struggling or knows someone that is struggling, and just let them know that, you know, they're no different than anybody else. You know, they got caught up in something that they wasn't probably aware of at the time, but there is life after it.
Yeah, and they're not alone.
Right. And see, and I think a lot of times when people fall off into these situations, they think they are alone.
Yeah.
You know, and they think you know, there's nobody can understand them.
Right.
And that, I think, sometimes is something that keeps them active.
Absolutely. I mean, that was part of why when I left Charlotte, I did not move back to New Jersey, you know, where the rest of my family was. I went and I moved into New York City, where I could be kind of alone, you know, like,
right.
I could walk down the street. Nobody knew who I was. And, you know, like I was kind of left in my own sort of misery almost.
Right. And that's, you know, I mean, valid point, man. I mean, I'm just saying, Jason, this addiction thing, it doesn't come with instructions.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone has to figure out their own way of dealing with it. I mean, I got some quirks that don't make sense to nobody but me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And one of them I'll share with you. I know this ain't gonna make sense, but this is one of my quirks. You know, I got a ton of them, but every morning, for example, I'm up at 3 a.m.
Right.
And I do a set of spiritual readings, turn my life over to God. But I drink coffee out of a prison mug.
Really?
Yeah. And I brought that mug home from prison 16 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
A reminder.
Well, yeah, every morning when I drink coffee out of that prison mug, I know where I got it from, and it's working quite well. I really don't need to go back and get another one.
Right.
So my thing is, even though it's been 16 years, I still understand that it's just one day.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to really buy into, because when you start looking at, man, 16 years, that's forever.
Yeah.
No, I got 16 years by one day at a time.
Yeah.
And I just think that a lot of people that are struggling out there don't think you're going to fix yourself.
Right.
Just make it through a day.
Yeah.
And then if you're blessed to see another day, then try it again.
Yeah.
I just think that's the smartest way to approach it. You have to figure at the end of the day, you have to figure out your own way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because what works for Ricky may not work for Jason.
Yeah. You know what's funny is when after the book came out, I was doing kind of the radio and TV tour, and I was on. Do you know that Dr. Drew? He's a Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I'm on his show, and like within the first few minutes, we get into this. He's talking about. And he's an AA guy. And so he kind of jumped in and when I told him, I'm like, well, hey, I don't have a problem with AA. And I tried AA. For me, it was just not the right fit. And he didn't want anything to do with me after that. The interview ended like a minute later. And and it's like, I understand that AA is great for some people. Do you know what? Like, and if that's what works for you, man, then you ride that thing as long as you have to go, right?
The wheels fall off. Yeah.
For me, it was hard. Like, I mean, when I would go into those meetings at rehab as a guy who just abuses, for the most part, pain pills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're listening to somebody else talk, and these people talk about their cocaine addiction, and you'd walk out of that meeting and be like, "Whoa, that guy, like." He's got a bet. Like, at least I don't do blow. I'm just doing pharmaceutical stuff doctors gave me. And then next time you're in rehab, you're in there for pills and coke, right? And then you're listening to the guy next to you who's telling the story about how he smokes crack, and you're like, "Oh, well, at least I just do, some blow and pills." This guy's. Then the next time you're in rehab, it's because you're there for pills, coke, and crack. And then it's the heroin junkies that are in there, and they're like, "Oh, well, they're just garbage." You know what I mean? Like. And we're not like them. And then next time I'm in there, it's because for crack and cocaine, for crack and heroin, right? So
it's a very vicious cycle.
Absolutely,
man, and I just encourage everybody to take a serious look at this. We're going to take another quick break and come back and wrap this show up, man. But don't go nowhere. 93.7 the ticket to get you happy on now.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your Big Red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor, and we want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we're back. Man. This was the fastest show I think I've ever done. Bob! Man, we got anybody comment over there?
Yeah, we do. We've got one comment from the text line. So I just want to say thank you for your courage to share the very real side of addiction. It means a lot to hear these stories in their raw totality from one sober knot to another.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate the comment. You know, I want people to understand something. Everybody goes through something. It's called life. Adversity is going to strike. It's just part of the deal. But, you know, you've had 2 people tonight being real transparent with you. And, Jason, I can't thank you enough for that. Yep. Because to me, I think what we're doing is trying to help people. Yeah. And unfortunately, when you're trying to help people, it doesn't get the attention that the negative does. Right. It doesn't get the ratings. So I don't expect this to be a high-rated show. I just hope that it helps somebody.
Yeah.
You know.
And everybody's got somebody that they know.
That's what I wanted to get to. Yeah. I think every human has a family member, a relative, or a brother or sister, or uncle, or a parent that's been touched by addiction.
Absolutely.
And it don't necessarily have to be drugs. It can be alcohol. It could be food. It could be negative attitude.
Yeah.
That's an addiction too, because I see a lot of people, they just walk around like they just ate something that didn't taste good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just mad at the world just because. I just think that's unnecessary. But
well, there was probably some people, like you said, waking up here in Nebraska this morning that might be looking at themselves in the mirror thinking, maybe I got a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, after yesterday.
I was wondering about that because I know there has been, usually when Nebraska doesn't win, there's usually some misunderstanding.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it be the opposing team that's still in town wanting to celebrate and rubbing it in, and God may have one or two too many, and next thing you know, there's law enforcement involved. Yeah, so, I will say this, man. I appreciate you, man, and it means a lot to me that you are willing to do this show, because to me, I'm not sure everybody's cool with this kind of, because really and truly, you make yourself a little vulnerable, you know. But see, I got this weird feeling, and I'm gonna speak for both of us, and I could be wrong, and you please correct me if I am, but I think you suffer from a little bit of the same thing I suffer from. We got pretty good self-esteem.
Yeah. Yeah, so, people have told me that before.
So self-esteem is not the issue here. So we can actually throw ourselves under the bus.
Hey, if you're a high-achieving athlete, chances are you've got some self-esteem. Like you don't make it to the NFL unless you feel confident about who you are and what you can do.
I try to make it humorous, and I say it like this. I suffer from a disease called high self-esteem because I love me some me.
Yeah.
And that's not a braggadocious type deal. That's just the way I feel. It's the way I look at myself, and it's the way I look at life. Did I have some setbacks? Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, I think I have a PhD in making mistakes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I own that. I'm not proud of it, but I own it.
Right.
And I see a lot of those same characteristics in you. You own it.
Yep.
And for you to own it and stand on it, to me, I think is something that needs to be recognized. So that's why I asked you to come back so quick. Yeah. So we got a chance to get this story out there. Is there anything else that I missed out on, or?
No, man. I mean, you're the guy that's making it all happen. You're the one that's coming on here every week talking about it, and I respect that. And you're doing a lot of good and having an impact.
Well, I'm trying, man, and I just want people to know that it's not the end of the world all the time.
No,
but I just think using is very dangerous, and it's getting worse because they keep introducing new things.
Yeah.
This fentanyl thing. I mean,
and they lie to you about the impact on that will have on you and your body, and there's no addiction. There's no draw there. People can't get addicted. You take as much as you want, and you're fine. Yeah.
And seeing that to me, that scares me because I'm not I heard you mention something about you. You're not that big on pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, I'm not a big pharma fan.
Yeah, the thing about this might not make sense, but I got to say this before we get out of here. I see occasionally, I don't watch a lot of TV, but occasionally I'll turn the TV on and I'll see a commercial.
Right.
And they'll tell you about a new drug.
Yeah.
And it takes them longer to tell you about the side effects and the benefits.
Yeah.
I just think there's something fundamentally wrong about that. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%.
So, well, I want to thank my guest again, man, Jason. Thank you,
Absolutely,
man.
Ricky.
And look, we're going to wrap the show up. I got to ask my one last question first, though. Then I will wrap the show. When Jason gets some free time, how does Jason get his happy on?
When Jason gets his free time. Well, now that usually I hope that Nebraska football can give me some happy time. But after yesterday, I've been a little down in the dumps. But I'm just living life and enjoying the kids, my wife, all that stuff, and taking it one day at a time.
Well, hey, that's good enough. I'm a Husker fan too. I want to see them do well. But I'm going to wrap the show the same way I do every week. Every day you blessed to say it's just another day in paradise. And no matter what, you got to get your happy on. See y'all next Sunday.
Valentino's. We're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino.